Are there products, there are products today that have been developed to do micro-infiltrative restorations. So we can take lesions that look like this and infiltrate resin into those areas without surgically preparing. And the literature actually looks pretty good on those areas. But to be able to infiltrate these lesions early, we need to detect them early. So is there technology today that can help us see the position of where lesions like this are, right, early on, even before they may show up on a bite wing and before true cavitation occurs? Is that possible today to be able to see that? So in particular, we want to find things before they get to this point, if possible. If it's possible to do that, that'd be great. And this is where this technology CariVu really fits in. This early detection is exactly what CariVu does. It takes the concept of DFODI, which is a technology some 15 years or more old, which took high intensity light, and it shoots high intensity near infrared light into the tooth. As this light is penetrating, an image is captured. So on the two arms here, and I'll show you a separate image shortly, light penetrates near the CEJ or free gingival margin, and it's imaged from the occlusal surface. So CariVu has the ability to detect smooth surface caries, occlusal caries, proximal caries, kind of initial caries forming, secondary caries around some restorations, and even cracks. That's what's currently indicated for. And there's a few different ways you can do it. You can do it as taking still images, or you can do video. So near infrared light is introduced, again, from those buccolingual surfaces. The light penetrates into the tooth surface as well as the tissue. As it penetrates, the image is captured through the sensor. And as you can see in these videos, we start to see dark areas pop up just like that. And that's an early class 2 lesion. I'll show you many stills throughout the presentation today. So you can do this examination in terms of doing a video around the maxillary mandibular arch and then pull individual frames out. Or the way I like to use my personal preference is I take individual still images. You can do either or. Those are options that you have in the technology. So what we're seeing here is it's important to note that we're not using X-rays or gamma rays, right? What we're using is, again, near infrared transillumination. So on that photon scale, it's on the opposite end. We're working way down here. So we have visible light, ultraviolet light, X-rays, and gamma rays. We're working at this end down here. And while we know that dental radiation is extremely low, right, it's not something we're concerned about as practitioners, if there's a technology that can detect caries and fractures predictably, can we potentially take less radiographs? At least can we have more thorough diagnosis by pairing 2D and 3D imaging together, right? So that we have a complete diagnostic standpoint. So the way this technology works is these two arms go around the tooth, they hug the tooth near the free gingival margin. The software will let you know your vertical positioning when you're in the right location. And these arms are flexible, these tips are sterilizable. The near infrared photons are introduced at this long wavelength that now it becomes transparent to photons, so it allows that photon energy to come in. And porous lesions and fractures, so caries or fractures or any porosity, ends up absorbing those photons. They look like a dark spot. So a lesion will look dark, as you see here. It's that class 2 lesion looking really dark. And the areas of health have complete illumination, right? You see that light coming through it.